As partakers of the divine nature of our Father, and in the likeness of Yeshua, there is a never-ending source that flows out of the gates of eternal supply, through our being and into the world around us. In the last episode, I mentioned Peter's exhortation in 2 Peter 2, that as partakers of this divine nature, we should strive to make our calling sure, to make every effort, as Hebrews 4 encourages, while it's still now, to get into that Shabbat Shalom and to remain in it and its never-ending source. And by leveraging the alchemy of that true rest, we become receivers of a lavish reception into the eternal kingdoms of our Father, our brother, and of the Holy Spirit. And what's more, Peter declares we will never stumble from that place. This is the invitation of his calling in us. It's a drawing to engage with these things, to help visualize remaining in the Shabbat Shalom. One of the pictures that Father gave me is that of a children's merry-go-round at a playground. You know, one of those metal death traps that spin around really fast while kids hang on for dear life. And it's usually the biggest kid that would run around and around to spin it as fast as they could and then jump on. And everyone would hold on tight, hoping they wouldn't fly off. The idea is that when you're on the outside of that merry-go-round, you're holding on with all of your might, right? You're using everything, your strength, your wits to maintain connection and not get pulled off by the centrifugal forces at work. But there's something that every kid that's ever ridden this hazardous contraption of fun knows, is that as you start moving towards the center, in order to hold on to the center pole, the outward force diminishes greatly upon your body, compared to when you're on the edge. Using that as a visual anchor, we can see a similar thing happening when we enter into the Shabbat Shalom. The pressures decrease from those things that try to draw us out. And the deeper we go into the Shabbat Shalom, the stronger the anchor we have to living in the now. The pressures, the worries, the anxieties, like we see in Yeshua's parable of the sower, those things that get into us, those little foxes throughout our day that deposit seeds of fear, doubt, and discouragement. All of those things lose their strength at pulling us out of the moment. When we grab a hold of the true rest and maintain our anchor to it through the alchemy of those 9 elements, faith, virtue, knowledge, self-government, endurance, excellent worship, brotherly affection, and love, and we're engaging in a rich supply of them, those external forces lose their ability to unseat us, and we're able to stay in the now at every moment of our day. Another way of looking at pressing into the center of the Shabbat Shalom, living in the now, is the example of the eye of a hurricane. In the center, there's almost no adverse weather there, right? There's no wind or rain. Depending on the size of the storm, sometimes there's even blue skies present. When I'm standing in the center, it's like a perfect calm, even though the chaos rages and whirls about me. Likewise, as I'm standing in the middle of the now, I'm not pulled out by fear or doubt or worry or fret or anger or whatever emotion of that moment that's trying to get a hook to pull me out. We see this pictured in Yeshua's life too. I believe this is the reason why he could say, "He has nothing in me. There's nothing they can hook into to pull me out of who I am." He walked in perfection of the now. He walked in the moment, and all his needs, all his resources came to him. They flowed out of the eternal realm that he was connected to all the time, and it flowed out to meet his future. He didn't worry about where he needed to be because he was always in the now. And when he was in the now, he was where he was supposed to be at every moment. And in that moment, he was also able to tap into the resources for that moment. He lived that model as an example for us. And so when he moved chronologically around in his environment, it looked like he was perfectly everywhere he needed to be. And every resource and everything that he needed for that moment was there as he stepped into it. This is where he stood and lived. And this is where he could say, there was nothing that the enemy could do to pull me out of it. No doubt, no fear, no worries to cause him to step out of the now he was walking in. That picture for me provides an anchor for my own life, because one of the many questions I've had on this journey is, how do I live in the now in a world that lives outside of it and is designed to oppose me from living in it? That's the real challenge, isn't it? The world in which we are called to live in, but not of, doesn't know how to live in the now. a world of systems hard at work against us entering in, of accessing what we're supposed to be. But as I press against the grain of the world and make every effort to live in the now, I'm beginning to experience the beauty of this reality. As I've practiced this and pressed into it, I've seen my Father move things around me, causing shifts without my own energetic effort to do it. He shifts time, and he shifts resources. While I'm in the now, he's able to shift things. And here's the truth about this. Part of the reason why we can't see things move is because our unbelief blocks him from doing things on our behalf. Because of the legal access or lack of access. Because we're sovereign beings, right? We have sovereign choices. When we live outside of the now, our fear keeps him from moving on our behalf. But when we enter into the rest, the fullness of his resources and government are now available to us and can move in and out of our eternal gates to meet our needs. Even when we're not immediately addressing them, this can happen. This is what is encased in the idea of seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. This is the manifestation of the promise of Isaiah 44. Every valley shall be lifted up, every mountain and hill made low. The uneven ground will become smooth, and the rugged land a plain. When I sit in the now, I'm seeking first the kingdom, and this releases him to move on my behalf and deal with those things that need to be addressed. For example, and it's just a simple example, in my job, I'm beholden to my boss's requirements for me, for my time and space, doing this or that task that has been given to me each day. Sometimes these tasks butt up against what Father wants me to do. But what he's been teaching me, if you seek me, seek first the kingdom, then I will unlock these things. I'll take care of them. And in those moments, when I stepped in and said, okay, I'm going to take this moment and seek the kingdom, he would make things move. Simple emails would come in from coworkers. Hey, this is urgent. I need this to happen ASAP. I got to get this fixed right now. In the moment, I would set that email aside, step into the now, and do what the Father wanted me to do right then. By doing that, I opened up a portal that allowed the Father to move on my behalf, behind the scenes. When I was finished engaging with what was needed in the now and in the kingdom, I would turn back to that email in my inbox to address it and find another email from the same person saying, no worries, it's solved, I was able to take care of it, or we figured it out. Over the year, this has happened many times. It's an amazing experience, but just a small example. You see, when the tyranny of the urgent world that's living in fear and chaos presses on the outside of me, Yahweh says to it, be quiet, I'm dealing with my son. I'll take care of that. That's an important aspect of seeking first the kingdom. He says to us, I will add all that. I will take care of it. It falls under the all category in that passage in Matthew 6. Again, it's just a small example, just a little kiss of the Father of what he's capable of doing on our behalf. When we choose to seek his kingdom, to choose to sit in the now, he moves heaven and earth on our behalf because we choose the best thing. We choose what he wants in that moment. And he says, I'll take care of all the other stuff. I'll take care of the 99%. You just do the 1%. Seek first the kingdom. And all that other stuff is a yes and amen in my heart. Turn into me and I'll deal with it. And he's going to continue to expand that manifestation as we press in. And we'll begin to see the beauty of that alchemy unfold in our lives. But we're responsible for doing the seeking, growing our intent and desire to step into the now and to remain in it so that we can access the resources for everything we need for life and godliness. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm experiencing as a result of the divine nature formed out of relationship with Yeshua. That's how we can access it. That's the only way we can access it, through our relational connection with him. And Peter makes that very clear. Hebrews 4 makes it very clear. He's the way, the truth, and the life, right? We use that as a mantra a lot, and it's true, but we don't fully understand the capacity of what that statement really means, what it contains, what it holds. But through a relationship with him, it really unlocks the full potential of what it means to live in the now, and what it means to access the unlimited resource for our future, for the now, and in the past. One final thought. Father also explained the now to me through this mathematical symbol of infinity. You know the sign? The figure 8 laying on its side? It's not actually a mathematical number. It's not a number at all. It's a symbol for what's not a number. But it's used in mathematics to describe or represent something that is outside of math. In a sense, I look at now in the same way. This is the way Father explained it to me. Now is not time. It's a moment. It contains something. It can be pointed to in a timeline, but it's not of the timeline. It supersedes the timeline because it's a connector point, a junction point where the eternal intersects with time. So when we sit in the now, we actually sit outside of time looking at time. It's an intersection or crossroad where time does overlap the now, but it's not actually a time event. It's something other. Because of this, it accesses something that is beyond the 4 dimensions of space-time, which is the eternal realms of our Father, which are not influenced by time. And when we access the gateway of the now, then we can access that which is not time and space to impact time and space. Even though we use it as a reference of time, just like the infinity symbol is not a number, now is not time. It's a point of connection for what is outside of time and space. Living in the Shabbat Shalom is this tension of being able to walk through the hurricane, the valley of the shadow of death, and not live in the fear that exists there, being pressed upon by the shadows of death that press on every side, but remaining unhindered or impeded by its tyranny. This is the point of Psalm 23. He leads us by the still waters. He lays us down in green pastures. These are training times of the heart, so that when we do walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we don't fear evil because we've already been calmed, because we've learned how to live in the Shabbat Shalom. We can move through those valleys and we can sit in the presence of our enemies and feast. Or in the midst of the storm, we lay in our boat and we're not troubled by it. What's more, we can stand up and say, "Shh, Shalom," and we can tell the storm to be what it needs to be. This isn't academic. This is transformative living. These are the expected results for those who participate in the divine nature of the Father, for those who are living within the center of the eternal moment. In the next and last part of this series, I'm going to talk about how the resources of the now become the unlimited provisions for our future. For now, thanks for taking the time to listen to this 4th part of Living in the Now. I hope it stirs you to make every effort to remain in the center of His now for you, so that you may be able to walk among hurricanes and not be moved. If you are a first-time listener, please consider following this podcast by clicking on the subscribe button. By doing so, you'll get notified when the 5th part of this series gets released. And to my regular followers, I would encourage you to click the share button and pass this episode along to someone you think will appreciate it. Also, if you're curious about Segula Studios and what we're all about, you can check out my website at segulastudios.com or follow me on X, Telegram, Discord, and YouTube. Until next time, may you experience living in the Father's eye in the midst of the storm and continue to pursue the you He designed you to be.